And here we are, once again. Welcome forward, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of the Working Man's Warships. I'm your humble host, Jedi Gad, and we welcome you, whoever you may be, wherever in the globe you are, whatever time of the day or night it is where you are, and however you are tuning in, watching and listening. Welcome all. So today, we are going to launch the first of our iconic ships series. So there are a few ships in this game which in my opinion are iconic, and I will explain why each one is iconic in turn. So today we are going to start with none other than Iowa. Now there are a bunch of reasons why this is iconic, but the main one is it's still here. You can go visit it, you can see it, and if a ship is still here, in my eyes, it's iconic. So today we're running the Willis Lee build, who is a base commander. New players, save up your commander XP, you can get Willis Lee. And here I'm just going to quickly go through some of the options on the build. Check them out. If you want details on each of the builds, if you miss anything, let me know and I will answer your questions. Also, if you just want a build on any ship in the game which you're thinking of playing with or you're currently playing with, if you're not happy with your build, if you want some improvements, let me know. But otherwise, check out the Iowa build. Now, we are using Bluto the Terrible as a guise. Why? Because to me, there are very few, if any, better guises for US battleships. Bluto, big bully, big personality, great voiceover. And one of the things I like to do on this game is I like to match up ships with the commanders that are from their nation or that best sort of epitomize the ship and the commander. So you can see all of the upgrades we've got here on the Iowa. Again, if you want to know what they are, some advice, or if you're thinking of giving me some advice, let me know. I am open and happy to hear any input. Now, for this battle, we are going to run the ship XP as it's a tech tree ship, and we're going to run Commander XP. We won't run Global XP or the Credit Booster or the Battle Booster. We saved them for Tier 8 and Legendary. So, Iowa, what do you have for us? Okay, so mission brief. Iowa, US battleship. You know how I feel about my American battleships. Battleships in general should be played aggressively, but a US battleship, it is in your mission statement to play aggressively. And if you don't, you are slipping. Remember, pacifists do not win wars. So, we're going to see what Iowa can give us today. Again, one of my favorite ships. I'm allowed to have a lot of favorites, and one of the best in the game. So, we have spawned northeast, and what can you see over here towards the east? There is a double cap. Now, we've been through this before. We always aim
all brawn and no brains
for the double cap. We see it. If we're spawned on this side, that's what we're going for.
I don't know how, but that area must be ours.
So immediately, right off the bat, I have let my team know my intentions. We want that double cap. Now, obviously, if you've spawned on the opposite side of the map, do not come all the way over here and try and get the double cap. Play where you are spawned. So we're going to try and secure this eastern flank now and the double cap. So just over on the horizon, we are anticipating we may get a destroyer, but there's going to be something out there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get ready, and as you can see,
found you.
The carrier has already seen us. So right off the back, we see Champagne here, and what we want to do is we want to reach out and touch Champagne. Now, Champagne is one of my favorite battleships, I have to say. It's probably my favorite French battleship. But we want to ding Champagne. We give him a little bit of a tap, but not really what we were looking for. Now, you'll notice I am turning in. The reason why is I have a great deal of respect for that Champagne and what its guns can do. There's also those torpedoes which we knew were coming. and we want to get out of the way of those. We can already see that this aircraft carrier is going to be a problem. Now, just over the horizon, you can see there's a smoke screen. Now, that will either be Kutuzov or Zara. As Champagne appears again, we shoot at him, and we are going to turn and take some evasive action because that cruiser can see us, but we can't see it. And we don't want to get burned to a crisp.
I see the enemy cruiser.
So we're moving around and we take a shot at Champagne, a bit like a half-court shot at the end of a quarter. And what do you know? Slap! We hit Champagne's with a Citadel. Now, we still need to keep moving because, as you can see, there's torpedoes there and we're getting hit. Now, at this point, I look at the map because I'm trying to work out if it's just the Kutuzov or the Zara. And by doing that, I lost concentration and turned straight into those torpedoes.
Let the flooding happen.
Fortunately, we can damage con that and we put it out, and now we are regrouping. Now, although I turned inside, I am not abandoning that double cap. I want the eastern flank and the double cap secured. So we're going to turn back round and we are going to go again. If at first you don't succeed, try again.
If you didn't fix it, you'd be thrown out to feed fishes.
Now, I can see that Champagne has returned. So, we need to deal with this man quickly. And we're still being spammed by the cruisers, but I want to see what we can do with Champagne. So, we lose our first ship. And we regain. And then we get the shot off at the Champagne, who's just peeping around the island. And we just give him a tap just as a reminder that we are here. And sailing out broadside to an Iowa isn't a good idea. More on that later. But as you can see, the cruiser is still spamming us. So we're going to turn out and try and get away from all these potential fires. Champagne appears. We're going to take that shot again. And we are going to double back because we want this flank. So it takes a hit from us. He gets slammed by some torpedoes and down goes the Champagne. But there, just as he goes, a parting shot, he gives us a reminder as to why I love that ship. So we get our bell rung and now we need to regroup again.
This place will be very important for my plan.
But we need to send a reminder to our teammates. That base is what we need. It is the key to victory. We've spoken about double caps before. When you see them, you can secure them. That should be your primary objective. Now, we are spotted. So we are going to look around and see what's what. Now, you will notice in our base, someone is taking it. Hence the reason we're spotted. So we're going to come around here and we're going to investigate this. Now, at this time, I'm wondering whether I should keep my AP or change to my HE. Just wondering, because I think it's the destroyer, but Kutuzov and Zara and them, they could be around here too. Don't know. Now, upon seeing those torpedoes, I now know
you'd better evade them.
That is a destroyer. So straight, we switch to HE and we're turning in here. Now you can see the torpedoes. We know what's coming. So we're going to try and minimize the damage. We do get flooded, but we can damage from that. We minimize the damage.
Someone stop the flooding!
We had to eat one, but we have now stopped the damage. And we can see that Benson behind the island. So what we want to do is we need to eliminate this man as quickly as possible so he does not become a problem later in the battle. So he knows we're there, and he's coming out, and he thinks he's above reproach. Wrong, he's not. So we knock his torpedoes out, and now Benson has a problem because we can see him, but so can our teammates. So we're going to creep back round. Now, notice here I've slowed my speed down. Why? I am giving my guns time to reload, while at the same time trying to throw off his timing for any torpedoes that he might simultaneously throw behind the island. Comes out again, we shoot again, and that should have been death for the Benson. It should have. It wasn't. At this time, I'm thinking, gosh, have I given him enough time to get those torpedoes off? Because as you can see, our hit points aren't great. So if he gets them off, we are going to have a problem. So I'm turning back in towards him so he can't expose my broadside. And fortunately, down he goes.
We're gonna meet torpedoes face to face.
So we thank our team, but torpedoes come anyway. Now, you can see that my damage con is coming back and we got hit by their torpedo. But forgive us this day our daily sins as we forgive those who sin against us. We didn't get flooded. So we are now going to proceed. What we're going to do is make sure that we secure this cap. We lost it. Now we want to regain it. So that needs to be priority number one right now before we can do anything else. We secure the cap. And then we go up on the ship count by 2. So now my next task is, apart from the fact that I want to start shooting at that annoying carrier who's been dropping stuff on me for the whole battle, we want to try and get in the middle now and take that cap. So we give the carrier a slap so he knows we're about now, and he is going to need to take evasive action or he will be going down in very short order. So we're moving in towards the center cap now. We're going to try and take that whilst keeping our eye out for what's going on. So I can see the carrier moving. We've taken a shot at the carrier again. But if you look over the horizon, you can see that Connecticut creeping round. He is going to be a problem. But speaking of problems, that carrier has got big problems. Because do not sail broadside to an Iowa. I don't care what ship you are in. You do not sail broadside to an Iowa. You will regret it. Now, I'm smelling blood here, right? I know that carrier's there. I want him gone, but I have to be cautious because just behind that island over there, you can see there are some enemies coming round, and these enemies are going to become a problem. So we take another shot at the carrier. Now, much as I want to take this man out as quickly as possible, much as I want him to go down, I have to beware because my hit points aren't that high. And that Connecticut could be a problem. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and slip behind this island here to kind of scrub off any of the shells that he sends our way. We won't be able to get all of them. But his first shot completely whiffs, which is very helpful to us because that has bought us some more time while he reloads his next salvo. Now we shoot at the carrier. For some reason we hit him with 0 shells. Work that one out. And we have whiffed along with the Connecticut. Now we've got to worry A, about the drops coming from the carrier, but B, we've got to worry about this battle carrier as well. We have to mitigate this situation. He shoots at us, takes a chunk off of us. We want to fire back and see what we can do to this man. So he gets hit by one of our teammates, and then we take a big chunk out of his remaining health, and he goes down. But we got hit with 2 torpedoes. So now it's about survival for us, because we don't have that much health left. We are ahead, but I want to be here at the end of the battle. We eat 2 more torpedoes, and we get another shot off. We are now running on fumes as far as hit point goes. But we are grateful to Sims for providing us with those extra hit points in our ship build. That's why it's important to build properly. Now, you can see we have now poked our nose out from behind the island. So we're exposed. And as you see, we got some AP coming our way. So we need to put this in reverse quick, fast, and in a hurry, or we're going to be going down. Some HE coming. We can see that they're after us. That Kutuzov. So we have got to put this in reverse as quickly as possible. The enemy ships can't see us, but the carrier, it can. And he is going to want to end us.
To starboard. You'd better evade them.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I looked at these torpedoes and thought, all right, it's curtains. And then they stopped. We are grateful for small mercies. So we're backing it up and backing it up because I want to get behind this island so that I can't be hit by these ships over here on our right. The carrier is going to be a problem, but I don't want to get hit by these guys. So, hello? Are you sailing broadside to an Iowa? Really? Bad move.
Someone stop the flooding.
Do not Sail broadside to an Iowa. You will regret it. And he does. Down he goes. We blow our horn. Thank the team. We have secured the center cap. We have obliterated the cruiser with a bit of help from our friends. And now you can see the game is secure.
Good fight.
We're thanking the team because we know this as a contest is now over. And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the USS Iowa. Stand up and salute. Iconic ship, one of the best in the game, one of my favorites. We come in top. And that is the Iowa. So, if you like what I'm doing over here, please like, subscribe, and share. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time on the Working Man's Warships. Bye-bye.